Welcome back. Today we will learn about the shocking betrayal that's about to rock Salem to its core as Tate Black finds himself entangled in a web of passion, deception, and heartbreak that could destroy everything he holds dear. The devastating betrayal unfolds. This week promises to deliver one of the most explosive storylines we've witnessed in months, as Tate Black, Leo Howard, makes a decision that will send shockwaves through the hearts of Days of Our Lives fans everywhere. The young man who once seemed so devoted to Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis, is about to cross a line that may prove impossible to uncross, as he surrenders to temptation with none other than Sophia Choi, Rachel Boyd, the very woman who has been orchestrating chaos in his life for months. The betrayal doesn't happen in some dark corner or hidden location, but rather in the most intimate setting imaginable, Tate's own dorm room, where he and Sophia will share moments that should belong to Holly alone. This isn't just a momentary lapse in judgment, it's a calculated move that reveals the depths of manipulation Sophia has been weaving around Tate's vulnerable heart. The pub encounter that changes everything. The dramatic sequence begins at Brady's Pub, that iconic Salem gathering place where so many relationships have begun, ended, and been transformed. When Sophia arrives for what should be a routine work shift, she's stunned to discover Tate waiting at the bar, his eyes filled with an intensity she hasn't seen before. The air between them crackles with unresolved tension as she asks, "What are you doing here? Don't you have a shift?" Words that barely mask the deeper question burning in her mind. Tate's response cuts through the casual atmosphere like a knife. "I want to make sure you're still coming to my dorm tonight." These words carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken promises and betrayals, setting in motion a chain of events that will leave Holly's world shattered. The camera captures every nuance of this charged exchange, from Sophia's surprised intake of breath to the way Tate's hands tremble slightly as he speaks. The pub, usually filled with the comfortable chatter of Salem residents, seems to hold its breath as these two former adversaries dance around the magnetic pull that has been building between them for weeks. Other patrons continue their conversations, completely unaware that they're witnessing the prelude to one of Salem's most devastating romantic betrayals. Passion ignites behind closed doors. When the scene shifts to Tate's dorm room, the atmosphere becomes electric with forbidden desire. The space that once felt like a sanctuary now transforms into the setting for ultimate betrayal. Sophia moves through the familiar surroundings with a confidence that speaks to how often she's imagined this moment, while Tate struggles with the weight of what he's about to do to Holly. The intimate moments that follow aren't just physical, they represent the culmination of Sophia's months-long campaign to tear Tate away from Holly. Every kiss, every touch, every whispered word is both a victory for Sophia's manipulative schemes and a dagger thrust into the heart of Tate and Holly's once beautiful romance. The preview footage shows flashes of their passionate encounter, leaving viewers to fill in the devastating details of this ultimate act of betrayal. As clothes are discarded and inhibitions fall away, Tate finds himself crossing a line he never imagined he would cross. The young man who once proclaimed his undying love for Holly now finds himself lost in Sophia's embrace, his conscience battling against desires that have been carefully cultivated by a master manipulator who knows exactly which buttons to push. The morning after, guilt and consequences. The aftermath of their intimate encounter brings a sobering reality that neither Tate nor Sophia fully anticipated. As dawn breaks over Salem, Sophia attempts to slip away from Tate's room like a shadow, hoping to avoid the complicated conversations that inevitably follow such monumental betrayals. But fate has other plans, as she nearly collides with Ari Horton, Marissa Reyes, in the hallway, the one person who could expose everything to Holly. The encounter between Sophia and Ari becomes a pivotal moment that could determine the future of multiple relationships. Sophia's desperation shows as she pleads, "Maybe you shouldn't tell Holly about this. You know her." These words carry layers of meaning, a recognition of Holly's fragile emotional state, a manipulation attempt, and perhaps even a hint of genuine remorse for the pain that's about to be unleashed. Ari finds herself in an impossible position, torn between loyalty to her friend Holly and the complicated dynamics that have been swirling around this love triangle for months. The weight of this secret could prove too heavy for anyone to bear, especially someone as young and inexperienced in matters of the heart as Ari. The mastermind's true intentions revealed. But is this passionate betrayal truly about love, or is it merely the latest move in Sophia's elaborate chess game to destroy Holly's happiness once and for all? The evidence suggests a much darker motivation lurking beneath the surface of apparent romance. Sophia's history of manipulation, blackmail, and outright deception paints a picture of someone who will stop at nothing to claim Tate as her own, not out of genuine affection, but out of an obsessive need to win at any cost. Consider the calculated nature of Sophia's approach. She's been systematically undermining Holly's relationship with Tate for months, using everything from financial pressure to emotional manipulation to drive wedges between the young couple. The timing of this seduction isn't coincidental. It comes at a moment when Holly is most vulnerable, most trusting, and most convinced that her relationship with Tate is finally on solid ground. Sophia's previous actions reveal a pattern of behavior that suggests this intimate encounter is just another weapon in her arsenal against Holly. She's already lied about their baby, manipulated adoption proceedings, and even staged compromising photos to damage Holly's reputation. Seducing Tate represents the ultimate victory in her twisted campaign of revenge and obsession. Holly's world on the brink of collapse. Meanwhile, Holly remains blissfully unaware that her world is about to implode. The young woman who has endured so much heartbreak and trauma in her short life believes she's finally found stability and genuine love with Tate. She has no idea that even as she plans their future together, he's betraying everything they've built with the one person who has made destroying their happiness her life's mission. The cruel irony is that Holly has been working double shifts, sacrificing her time and energy, partly due to Sophia's previous blackmail schemes. While she's exhausting herself trying to protect her relationship with Tate, he's making the very choice that could destroy it forever. The dedication and loyalty she's shown make Tate's betrayal even more devastating, transforming what should be a time of happiness into the setup for unimaginable heartbreak. When the truth eventually comes to light, and in Salem, it always does, Holly will have to confront not just Tate's betrayal, but the realization that Sophia has been playing an elaborate long game designed to destroy her happiness from the very beginning. The question that haunts Salem. As this devastating storyline unfolds, viewers are left grappling with the central question that drives this entire narrative. Is Tate's betrayal an act of genuine passion, or has he become an unwitting pawn in Sophia's twisted game of revenge? The evidence suggests a complex mixture of both. Genuine physical attraction manipulated and exploited by someone who understands exactly how to weaponize desire against love. Tate's actions will have consequences that ripple far beyond his dorm room, affecting not just Holly and Sophia, but the entire network of relationships that connects Salem's younger generation. The bonds of trust that take months to build can be shattered in a single night, and the scars from this betrayal may prove too deep for any of them to fully heal from. The coming episodes promise to explore the full ramifications of this betrayal, as secrets are exposed, hearts are broken, and the true cost of Sophia's manipulative schemes finally comes to light. Will Tate realize he's been played, or will his guilt and confusion make him even more vulnerable to Sophia's continued manipulation? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, Salem will never be the same after this earth-shattering betrayal rocks the very foundation of young love. Next, we dive deep into the emotional maelstrom that crashes over Holly Jonas the moment she learns the brutal truth. Tate Black locked lips with Sophia Choi and never breathed a word about it. At first, shock slams into Holly like a rogue wave. Her mind races through recent memories, Tate's gentle reassurances, their inside jokes, the whispered promises exchanged beneath Salem's flickering street lamps. Every sweet detail now feels contaminated, as though someone has poured ink over the pages of her favorite diary. Holly's throat dries, but she forces a brittle smile in front of Ari to avoid breaking down in public. Inside, however, her heart has already started to crack. That crack widens into anger the moment she is alone. Holly paces her bedroom like a caged tigress, replaying Sophia's smug glances and Tate's sudden absences. A dozen red flags she once dismissed now blaze in hindsight: the late-night study sessions, the evasive texts, the nervous laugh he gave whenever Sophia's name came up. Holly clenches her phone so tightly her knuckles whiten. For an instant she considers calling Tate to demand the truth, but fury tells her he doesn't deserve the courtesy of a phone call. Instead, she marches to Brady's pub, intent on a face-to-face reckoning. The bell above the door jingles, and every patron instinctively steps back from the storm brewing in her eyes. When Holly spots Tate at the counter, time seems to fracture. She notes everything in hyper-clarity, the tremor in his hand, the guilty swirl of his coffee, the way his shoulders tense when he senses her presence. She slips onto the stool beside him, voice low but laced with steel. "How did Sophia's lipstick taste?" Tate's stammered excuses barely register. Holly's ears ring with betrayal. Yet underneath the rage lurks a raw ache. Was I not enough? That self-doubt is a far crueler blade than anger ever could be. Holly fights the urge to crumble, determined not to gift Tate the sight of her tears. Instead, she lays out new ground rules with icy precision: distance, honesty, and time, 3 things Tate never imagined he would beg for. After the confrontation, Holly's vulnerability surfaces. She retreats to the Horton Town Square, collapsing onto a bench where Christmas lights still dangle even though the season has long passed. Salem's familiar bustle blurs around her as she finally allows the tears to fall. It is here that Ari finds her. The friends share a hushed conversation that oscillates between rage-fueled venting and soul-searching empathy. Ari offers a comforting shoulder but refuses to sugarcoat Tate's mistake, reminding Holly that self-respect sometimes means letting go. Back at home, Holly faces her reflection. Mascara smudges under swollen eyes, yet she suddenly sees unexpected strength staring back. Strength inherited from Nicole and Daniel, forged in earlier heartbreaks and tragedies. With a shaky breath, she resolves not to let this betrayal define her worth. Instead of spiraling, she crafts a pragmatic plan. Establish boundaries. No late-night calls, no accidental meetings on campus. Seek truth. If Tate wants redemption, he must volunteer every hidden detail, no half-truths, no omissions. Protect her future. Holly gathers her college applications, determined that academics and ambitions will not be derailed by teenage drama. Armed with this roadmap, Holly walks into the next school day taller than before. Gossip ricochets down the lockers, but she moves through the whispers like a queen through court intrigue. Sophia attempts a smug wave. Holly answers with a gaze so calm it borders on terrifying. The message is clear: you may have won a kiss, but you haven't conquered me. In a twist neither conspirator anticipates, Holly books a counseling session, not for heartbreak, but for clarity. She refuses to carry unconscious resentment into her future relationships. The counselor praises her proactive step, guiding Holly to unpack the layered emotions, betrayal, insecurity, residual affection, until each feeling sits in its own labeled box. By confronting the pain head-on, Holly transforms it from an anchor into a stepping stone. Later that week, Tate requests one final conversation. Holly agrees, but in a public setting, the town garden under broad daylight. He arrives holding a single white rose, eyes glossy with regret. Holly listens, truly listens, as he confesses every detail, from the first flirtatious text to the kiss itself. When he finishes, she takes the flower, twirls it between her fingers, and answers with composure she never knew she possessed. Love needs honesty the way this rose needs sunlight. You chose shadows instead. I don't hate you, Tate, I simply choose myself. She sets the rose on the bench and walks away without looking back. That evening Holly journals beneath soft lamplight. Her entry concludes with unexpected optimism. Yes, betrayal hurts, but it can also ignite self-discovery. She recognizes her resilience, her capacity for steadfast boundaries, and her unwavering belief that real love doesn't leave you guessing. As the Salem skyline glows against the night, Holly Jonas isn't just the girl who was deceived, she is the young woman who reclaimed her narrative, proving that even shattered trust can be refashioned into unbreakable strength.